All right, all right. LDWMMAC. This is your boy, Coach Sheldon Harrison. You're live on the Coach Sheldon Harrison Combat Sports Show Live. Okay, guys. So this is a tale of two stories, okay? Somebody is lying, okay? Somebody is actually lying. Now, who are we going to believe, okay? You got two people. One person has a billion-dollar corporation behind them. The other person got the strength of the fans behind her. Probably, just became a multimillionaire in 2017. She has the fans. That's it. But one guy got a billion-dollar corporation at his disposal. Who do you guys think in your heart of hearts, who do you believe is going to win that matchup? Who do you honestly, truthfully believe is going to win that matchup? See, 1-to-1 odds, okay, you can ask that person to fight. But 1-to impossible odds, the person can't hope to achieve any sort of victory. And in this case, Cris Cyborg is fighting, a winless battle. It's hopeless. She's not gonna defeat a multi-billion-dollar corporation. It's just not gonna happen. She's fighting the odds that'll never be in her favor. Okay, it is. But guys, I want to take y'all back. Okay, I find it hard to believe that Cris Cyborg, right? All of a sudden, she's afraid of Amanda Nunes. Like all of a sudden. Like, she don't want to fight Amanda Nunes for some reason. Like, what? After being brutally knocked out, she's afraid to get knocked out again. How does that sound? You were a champion. You lost your livelihood of getting that championship pay. Lost all of that to Amanda Nunes. And as a fighter, y'all don't think Cris Cyborg will want that back. Hey, how about this? Let's talk about it. There have been a lot of fighters in history to be brutally knocked out, and they call for rematches. Bermane Stiverne got brutally beat up by Deontay Wilder. He called for the rematch. Dominic Brazil was brutally knocked out by Deontay Wilder. He been calling for this rematch. Conor McGregor was choked out by Nate Diaz. He called for the rematch. Alistair Overeem got beat up by Stipe Miocic. He wants the rematch. Daniel Cormier, he got knocked out by John Jones. He called for the rematch. And called for the rematch. And want to fight him again for a third time. Joanna Bojanglecheck got knocked out by Rose Namajunas. She called for the rematch. So all of these fighters are calling for rematches. Do y'all understand where I'm going with this? Just about every single fighter we've seen lose brutally, they said they want to run it back. They all say the same thing. They all say the same thing. God bless even Ben Askren. Who got the soul knocked out of him. Ben Askren wants to run it back with Jorge Masvidal. Guys, so now all of a sudden we get to Cris Cyborg, and now Cris Cyborg is the one that's afraid. Guys, how we gonna explain this? Fighters throughout history, y'all, they wanted rematch. Think about it. That's like championship pay. That's a lot of things you get as a champion that you don't get as a contender. You make more. Your popularity is higher with the belt. Well, in Cris Cyborg's case, she got more popular after she lost. But what I'm trying to indicate to y'all, this woman been fighting for 2 decades. For 2. And now all of a sudden she's afraid. Guys, it don't even make sense. It don't even make sense because you know what you're getting into. Now, I've seen fighters that are absolutely don't want to fight. Cris Cyborg ain't one of these fighters. She ain't one of these fighters. You got fighters that want to fight again. Like Jermaine Durandame got destroyed by Amanda Nunes. She taking the fight. Jermaine wouldn't fight Cris, though. But Jermaine said, though, and Jermaine gave a reason. She said, listen, I don't want to fight somebody who's got a history of steroid use. Okay? And that's understandable, but Jermaine, most of your opponents probably got steroid use. They just ain't been caught yet. That's just real talk. Aspen Ladd got knocked out by Jermaine, and Aspen Ladd talking about, I want to run it back. So we get to Cris Cyborg, and now Cris is a coward. See, do you guys understand the narrative that's going down? There's a narrative. Somebody lying. But I find it hard to believe that the person who fought for years, man, 2 decades, is afraid of Nunes. She's not. She's not afraid of Nunes. Even Nunes with her goofy self, she knows this. But better yet, Dana know this. Guys, I'm going to tell you, it's going to come out. It is going to come out. I guarantee you. Okay, when Dana kept saying, if Cris calls today, we'll make that fight. Yeah, he'll make the fight, of course. But does anybody want to know the issue of money? Because, see, it seems like now, when it comes to an issue of money, or when it comes to Cris Cyborg, okay, Cris Cyborg can't want, the money that she knows she deserves. She can't want that. Only Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor can get the money they want, right? That's it. These are the only people that can, talk about the money. Because the fight is huge. That's the biggest fight in MMA that can be made right now. And people are saying that Cris is a coward. Now she want a piece of the pie. I'm going to tell you something. This fight came down to dollars and cents. And I mean that. It came down to dollars and cents. And when the truth of the matter is, man, Dana White ain't trying to give Cris a piece of that. They ain't trying to give. And you remember Dana used to say stuff like, in this business, you definitely got to put butts in the seats to eat. He used to say that. You got to put butts in the seats to eat. Well, I mean, she do that. I think she's more than, attributed her value, her worth. I mean, she has. She's pulling her weight, or she pulled her weight. But we're not getting this Nunes fight because, see, that's something really unhealthy about Dana White and Cris Cyborg. It's unhealthy. Like, you've seen him have unhealthy relationships between fighters. But this one is real personal. And I think this man willing to sacrifice who knows how much money. Because this one is personal. I can't put my hands on anything else, man. I mean, he's at $1 billion corporation. He got the money. They can afford to pay Cris what she wants. That's not even it. They can afford to pay Amanda what they want. This is personal. This man truly, truly does not. He detests this woman. I'm talking about he detests this woman. And if Cris died today, he would go to her grave and he would piss on it, or he'd have no remorse. This man detests Cris Cyborg. And he's relieved. Okay, relieved. When he was doing that interview, when he said we out of Cris Cyborg business, dude was relieved. That ought to tell you, man. In this case, I think this is the only situation with Dana White that green don't really make a difference. Right now, Dana White don't see green. Dana White only sees red.